Like, just had to let everybody know that we were here tonight.
Curry, another long-distance shot. It's good.
Try to create some momentum.
Where would you put this in his finals performance resume?
I think probably number one.
I don't rank my performances. We should just win the game.
Get some contact, layup, got it, and one.
You and I, we are not alike.
That shot was ridiculous.
But you don't shine when they hit a light.
Oh, Steph Curry from way downtown. Curry, three-pointer, bang!
2-2 is way better than 3-1 going home, so job well done tonight.
NBA analyst Corey Alexander joining us now. Corey, Steph Curry played 41 minutes, took 26 shots on his way to 43 points in the Game 4 win. What are your thoughts on his workload as the series moves forward?
Well, Jay, when Steph got an opportunity to talk to our Lisa Salters after the game, he wasn't even breathing hard. 26 shots for him, 41 minutes. That's nothing to one of the most, well-conditioned athletes in the NBA, in the world. When you consider the way that he goes about his work ethic, he goes about his business off the court, taking care of his body, and what he does to get himself prepared to be able to perform at the greatest moments, Steph Curry has a lot more left in the tank. And I think that we will see much more of that in Game 5 Monday, especially when he gets back home at Chase Center in front of his home crowd. I believe he will be even more spectacular. And right now, the momentum for Steph Curry is growing as his legend is as well.
Let's talk about the Celtics and Jason Tatum, who scored just 3 points on 1 of 5 shooting in the fourth quarter Friday. You mentioned yesterday that he needs the ball in his hands late in close games. So how can Boston make sure that happens?
Well, Boston can make sure that happens by simply getting him the opportunity to be more of a facilitator. Jason Tatum did a great job of getting off the basketball in the first 3 quarters of the game, allowing others to make plays. But when it's fourth quarter time, when it's Mamba mentality time, when it's time to close the game out, Jason Tatum needs to be the guy with the ball in his hands, and he needs to be aggressive. He had a couple of turnovers early in the fourth quarter. I believe that made him passive. He has to fight through that and continue to have that Mamba mentality that got him through a Game 7 in the last series against the Heat and allowed them to make it to the finals and have played that way in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, he was -9 in the fourth on Friday, hoping to improve on that for Game 5 tomorrow night. Cannot wait. Corey Alexander, thank you, brother.
Hey, my man.
All right, let's go to baseball now. The NL East won. Celtics made a statement on the road, outscoring the Warriors 40-16 in the fourth quarter to steal the win. It's the largest point differential in a fourth quarter in finals history. Then the Warriors, though they did bounce back in Game 2, holding the Celtics to their lowest point total in a game in these playoffs. Despite scoring 28 points, Jason Tatum had a -36 of a plus-minus. That's the worst in any game of his career. But then Boston retook the series lead at home in Game 3 with the help of another big fourth quarter. They advanced to 7-0 following a loss this postseason. That's tied for the most wins following a loss in a single postseason in NBA history. Then on Friday, Steph Curry put on a show, dropping 43 to go along with 10 boards as the Warriors even the series at 2 apiece. And so let's now see how both teams are getting ready for Game 5. And we start things off with Tim Bontemps and the Celtics.
The Boston Celtics have won all 7 games they've played after a loss in these playoffs. Whether they can make it an 8th time in Game 5 could be what determines whether they win an NBA title. That's how we've been all year, Marcus Smart said. We take a loss and bounce back. The Celtics know they let one slip away in Game 4, but it's also far from the first time Boston has done that in these playoffs. We don't do this on purpose, Jason Tatum said with a smile. I promise you that. Either way, this is the position Boston once again finds itself in, and the Celtics hope history will repeat itself.
Draymond Green said he knew Stephen Curry was not going to let the Warriors lose Game 4. And he said he could tell that Steph was going to bring just a little extra fire by watching his demeanor in the days leading up to the game. And that's exactly what Steph did. Klay Thompson said, sometimes we take what Steph can do for granted, and we need to help him out on Monday. But they didn't say they had to do that by scoring a bunch of points. Instead, they said we have to make Steph's job easier just by getting out of his way. They need to set screens, free him up, help him get to his spots. If he passes you the ball, yeah, be ready to shoot it. But other than that, just let Steph cook and make it as easy for him to do so as possible. As Draymond said, Friday's game, quote, showed why he's one of the best players to ever play this game and why this organization has been able to ride him to so much success.
Ahead on SportsCenter, why Game 5 is a tall task for the Celtics, how Boston can contain Steph Curry, and help Jason Tatum get back on track tomorrow night.
SportsCenter on.
Turnovers hurt the Celtics yet again in this Game 4 matchup. 16 turnovers in this game. And Scout, in our pregame show, you talked about the number being 14 and under. And I feel like the Celtics, they hit that magic number between 15 and 18 where they have that amount of turnovers, and they will automatically lose the game.
Yeah, 19 points. It wasn't bad in the first half as far as scoring, because I thought this. Did you guys feel? I didn't get a chance to talk to you guys at halftime. I thought we turned it over, and then they missed wide open shots. In the second half, when we did turn it over, they capitalized on it. But, I mean, for the Celtics, it comes down to rebounding, and it comes down to turnovers. And I thought the Golden State Warriors did a great job rebounding the ball, and then they still forced the Celtics into 16. Hard to win like that.
That's what I was going to say. It came down to rebounding the basketball and taking bad shots and not maximizing your possessions and getting the opportunities against mismatches and getting downhill, but just settling for threes and taking long threes, allowing the Golden State Warriors to, because they both had 16 turnovers. They were +2 on points off turnovers. You know, they had 2 more points than we did. So I felt like that was kind of a wash. But the fact of the matter is that we just settled at the end of the game instead of attacking with our matchups that we had, and I think that ultimately cost us. You know, when they got their matchup, they scored. We got our matchup, we settled and just took long threes and was hoping they were going in.
You know what? We could keep talking about turnovers. We could keep talking about all the X's and O's. We could talk about transition defense. But what I saw today was I saw the best player on one team was ready for the occasion and rose to the occasion. And I've been waiting on the best player from our team, the Celtics, to rise to the occasion. Like, where the hell is Jason Tatum at the moment? Like real talk, like, where is Jason Tatum? And I'm not talking about 25 points on 22 shots or going 8 for 23 tonight. Like, when is he going to arrive to the finals and have that big moment? Like, we keep hearing, you know, we keep seeing the walking in with, you know, and God rest his soul, the Kobe Bryant. We seeing him walk in with the Jordan shirt. And I mean, he don't have to talk about it or tweet about being a star, superstar. Like, you're there. We're going to talk about it. Yeah. We're going to talk about it. You were first team All-NBA. Show it. This is the time. Show it.
I get where Perk is coming from. If you're Jason Tatum, you're supposed to be a superstar. You're supposed to be the alpha on this team. You're supposed to show up in moments like that. When the game is on the line and you could go up 3-1 in a series, you want to see your star player out there making plays.
Bet you won't tweet it.
I ain't got to tweet it. They go tweet it for me, and then I'm going to retweet it.
Oh, my goodness.
Carry on, then.
Carry on. You did the tweet for him. Carry on. All right, let's take a break here on Celtics Post-Game Live. A look at that final score from inside of TD Garden, 107-97. Coming up, we bring in Chris Forsberg for his thoughts on this Game 4 loss for the Celtics.
Celtics Post-Game Live is brought to you in part by TD Bank. Bank of the Boston Celtics.
7:32 mark. And if you count the misses on this tweet right here, 10 missed shots by the Celtics from that 7:30. Eddie House, Amina Smith back here with you. And speaking of Jason Tatum, he did struggle a bit in this matchup, just 4-15 on those 2-point shots. And we talked about him showing up in these big moments. However, Scal, when you take a look at Jason Tatum, just how is he struggling just shooting those twos?
I don't think he's getting downhill with force. I just feel like maybe he's having a hard time reading the game right now, like nothing that we saw earlier. When he's at his best, he's tacking, kicking. I feel like he's uncertain in what he's trying to do out there, which is the reason why. And if he's got those catch and shoot opportunities, he's knocking them down from 3, but he's not playing with the same force he needs to play with.
Yeah, and I think I was watching that tonight, and I think that's what the problem is. And give credit to the Warriors defense, though, because they're confusing him. They're not giving him any lanes, and he's always going against. It's another body always there. Right here, he should have just whooped him, though, easy.
Felisa's a good defender, man. I don't know.
Man, that man looked like a substitute PE teacher.
Everybody hates on Belisa. He's a good defender.
Man, you better stop it. He's like a substitute PE teacher.
Look
sure.
Pargo, what do you think is behind Jason Tatum struggling with those 2-point shots?
I'm starting to ask myself, are we not giving Andrew Wiggins enough credit? Like Andrew Wiggins,
probably not.
Huh?
We probably are not.
We really are not, because I mean, although Luka shot 51% against Andrew Wiggins at last series, it was tough shots, and now you know what? He's making life hard on Jason Tatum. He's battling off. He's fighting him off his spots. I saw at one point he couldn't even get position to get the ball. He was trying to get the ball to him in the low post area, and he couldn't even get open. And I'm hearing these post-game interviews from Jason Tatum and the sit-down interviews, and he just keeps saying how happy he is just to be here. Well, that time is over. Like, you're in the thick of things. Forget that, like, perform.
Maybe you should tweet that.
You tweet it.
No, but here's the thing. Last time you
why you want me to be your ghostwriter?
He wanted you to throw the dart, but he gonna get you to put his battery in your back.
No, he gonna go in there and look at the comments and then say, dang, Perk taking a lot of heat.
Yeah.
Perk taking a lot of heat. No, get in there.
Wait a minute. Last time you said
he wants you to be the crash dummy.
Hold on, I sent this tweet out and they turned the season around. So why don't you send a tweet out to turn the series around?
Why don't you, White Mama?
Because then I don't have as much juice as Carry On.
You know what? Well, speaking of post-game pressers, let's take a listen to Derek White and Marcus Smart at the podium right now. Perks, Gal, Eddie House here with me, and Al Horford talking about how the Celtics, they kind of took for granted some of those those possessions down the stretch. Eddie, just explain from a basketball perspective, a former player perspective, how does that happen?
In the NBA Finals? I have no idea. I have no idea how that happens, to be honest with you. I don't know how you take a possession for granted, how you take a defensive or offensive possession for granted, how you take an assignment for granted. Whatever you're supposed to do, how do you miss? Sometimes you make a mistake trying to do it, right? You trying to do it, you might have missed it, but you don't just forget, and everybody's looking around like, hey, man, what are we doing offensively? Why? Man, they had a couple possessions there, and it was one at the end of the second half, and one and a few of them in the fourth quarter where they're standing around not understanding what the call is. I don't know if they didn't get the call. I don't know what it was, but that cannot happen at this stage of the game. It just, to me, so I can't call it. I really don't understand. It's mind-boggling to me.
I mean, you can look at it like this: like you got to get downhill, you got to attack, you got to say, jump shot, jump shot, jump shot, jump shot. Okay, now we got to do something different. We got to attack. We got to move it. We got to hit the paint 2 or 3 times if we can. So that'll be an example of taking something for granted, which you think, well, we shot them well in the first half, or we shot them well, at the start of the fourth. But when Steph is going on that run, we all could feel the energy of that team just kind of downshift. You have to, at that point, say, like, no, we're not allowing this. And I'm with Perk. Like, that's Jason Tatum taking over.
That's what I'm about to say. Perk, who makes that decision to make that adjustment in those final moments of the game when you see that those shots aren't working?
Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I mean, that's why they get paid the big bucks, right? You think about it in any game, not just the finals, right? When it started being a possession by possession game, okay, in the first, second, and third quarter, I get it, getting everybody involved, cool. But now all of a sudden, you got to find a way to run a 2-man game to get the ball in your best player's hands in the best position possible. Another thing, throughout the course of the game, it's too many my bads. Doc Rivers used to always tell us, I don't want to hear my bads, because if you're playing 8 guys and each person have 2 my bads, that's 16 mess-ups throughout the course of the game. My bad is that you knew better. I knew better and I did it anyway, or I messed it up with a lack of focus. And I just think, still, I'm not trying to pick on Jason Tatum. I expect more out of Jason Tatum. And right now, this is his moment. This is his moment. I'm not telling them to dominate the series. Just asking for 1 game.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. Jason Tatum, the superstar, should be showing up in those moments. All right, time for tonight's Drain of the Game is brought to you by John Stewart and Drain Cleaning. The name to know when the drains don't flow. And Marcus Smart hitting the 3 to beat the shot clock in the fourth quarter. An exciting moment in this matchup between the Celtics and the Warriors. Marcus Smart with 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 5 assists in this game. A look at that final score from inside of TD Garden, 107-97. Coming up on the other side of the break, we hear from Jason Tatum. Stay with us.
Celtics Post-Game Live is brought to you.
I said with Van.
His feet touching the wood.
Hey, so I'm going to tell Wick no?
No, but
When Wick said, "Hey, I got 2 tickets for you,"
you a grown man.
I'm supposed to say,
You had a
"Wait a
right to
minute,
say
wait a
no.
minute, sit."
Not off a superstition.
I'm about to go
Wait a
sit.
minute.
that was in the fourth quarter, right? Is that when we started hitting our slide?
No, that was no. We
I
made
think
a
that
run.
was, yeah, I
We
think they
a
made on
when
a
I
run.
did that.
Everybody was fired up. The
Yeah,
crowd
we
was
went on a run.
fired
He was
up.
down one.
See, don't let him drag you into the haterism
He was
right
down
there.
one. The score was 98-97.
don't let it-
I remember it.
See, that's a hater right there. You
We
watching me
down
too
one.
close.
No, I couldn't help but watch
Yeah,
it. They put
see?
you on the jumbotron.
Yeah,
You lost
you
the game.
see what I'm saying?
The
No, that ain't
whole
the
arena
reason
was
why.
screaming his name.
I
had
ain't
to
shoot
watch
one
it.
shot.
Hey, did you get the real championship ring on the pinky?
That was Wicks. He was like, "Here, put this on." I
Oh,
was like, all right.
you ran another man's ring? I got you.
Yeah. I sure did. I
Put a
sure
ring
did.
on it.
I sure did. I sure
He
did.
said Beyonce me.
I sure did. I did. I damn sure did. Yeah.
He turned it red.
Yeah. I ain't turning red. He is.
No.
I ain't turning red.
Listen,
He
I'm
is.
telling you right now, Game 6, back in the
Boom.
No, okay.
You back to the
well,
sweet.
Not
That's
sending
what some
Eddie
food
back
up there
to the
anyway. I
sweet.
was
Come
hungry down there, man.
on.
My stomach was growling anyway.
Look, I thought Eddie was amping everybody up.
That's what I'm saying. They're haters.
They
They just mad because they wouldn't have got that reaction like that.
I felt the vibes. I was feeling it, but I looked at the results.
Well, I can't help what they do.
Yeah. Well, you were
Guess
trying.
what?
Guess what? You were
Guess what?
trying.
If I was,
go.
let me ask you this. If I was out there, I would have been missing no shots.
I didn't say you was out there.
You were.
Yeah.
You just came. You walked up here. You said, "Whew, I was just coaching my behind off." And I'm
I
like, "You did?"
He did.
And these
You look like this
you
and
were
everything.
coaching and we lost by 10.
He said.
No, but I got us like 2 calls. I ain't gonna lie. I did get us like 3 calls. I did get.
man.
Okay, no.
Eddie-
Eric, I was on Eric Helmet.
I'll let Eddie have his moment for a little
See,
bit.
they haters.
Fans
right.
were
We're not
excited
haters.
about
Y'all
it.
is haters.
All right, well, let's hear from
You
the
can't be a
man
player without
himself,
a hater.
Jason Tatum. He's at the podium right now.
Can't be a player with.
Welcome in the Wizard of Odds, Kenny White, and former NBA champ and Coach of the Year, Avery Johnson. Coach, before we talk bets, can we talk some hoops? What do you see as the biggest keys for the Warriors' success in Game 5?
Well, the Warriors need a Klay Thompson explosion in Game 5. I think he's been average at best in the finals. They need that Game 6 Klay Thompson from the Memphis series where he scored 30 points and he made 8 threes. He was aggressive to take the ball to the basket. He had really good balance on his shot selection. He pump faked and got open for open threes. But this Klay Thompson, he's just been a little off balance. But when he makes 3-point shots, he made a big one at the end of Game 4, even though Steph Curry was going off. When he makes those open threes, it opens things up for not only himself, but for the rest of his team. And it puts pressure on the Celtics bigs to come out and play above the 3-point line, which then opens up the paint game for them, for their bigs when they're rolling to the basket. But they need a Klay Thompson explosion, because I got a feeling that Steph Curry's not going to score 43 points in Game 5.
All right, so Klay Thompson got to be key, but let's see what our Kenny White thinks on the wagering side of things, staying with the Warriors. Kenny, give us your top player prop for Game 5 that you think could have a big night or struggle.
Well, Coach hit it right on the head. It's Klay Thompson. He's been rather average, and the numbers they keep putting up on him was 20.5 points per game. It is down to 19.5 points. I'm still going under. Klay's good for 1 out of every 5 games. He's going to have a big game. He had that in Game 3, playing so many minutes now for a guy who was out 2 years with 2 big injuries. 40 minutes a game is wearing. I think they're very tired. They're also up against a great defensive team. So at 19.5 points, I think it's too many. I think Klay fits between 16 to 18 points. I think that's what you're going to get out of him. So I'm going to go under that 19.5.
All right, we'll flip things over to the Celtics side of things now and bring back Avery Johnson, because the C's, they win this, have a chance to win the title on their home court. What do they need to do to accomplish that, Avery?
Well, I think the obvious and glaring is to take care of the basketball. When they don't turn the basketball over, they're a much better team. But I think the biggest key is points in the paint. I thought they didn't do a good job of finishing in the paint. They only finished with 32 points in the paint in Game 4 compared to 52 points in Game 3. That's a huge swing. So that talks about, running on the break, finishing in the paint, not settling for bad 3-point shots, just really being more aggressive, putting pressure on the Golden State Warriors defense. The Warriors in the interior really, they don't have a lot of shot blocking. When they downsize and Draymond Green goes to 5, he's not really a shot blocker. When Looney's not in there, they don't really have a last line of defense like the Celtics have with Robert Williams or even Al Horford. So I think the biggest key is they got to put pressure on the Warriors defense, score in the paint over and over again, try to get to the free throw line. They're not attempting enough free throws and putting the Warriors only had 21 fouls in game 4. They got to put more pressure where the Warriors get to 26, 27 fouls, which is going to mean more free throws for the Celtics. But that all depends on how they put pressure on the rim and score more points in the paint.
So pressure is key. Kenny, you went with the under for your top Warriors player prop. What catches your attention on the Celtics side? Where's the value here?
Well, I started out this series. I have a ticket on Jaylen Brown to win the MVP at 10-1, and I, kind of read some things about maybe Jason Tatum under the big spotlights. Maybe he wouldn't be as good as advertised, but he's lived up to it. He's lived up to the pressure, and he's played well. So he is the best player in this team by far. And Jaylen Brown kind of takes a little bit of a backseat. He's still a great player and can still score in the 20s. But I think that's right where he's at. I think he's anywhere between 19 and 21 points. This point total at 23.5. Again, the more the teams play, the deeper the series gets, the better the defense gets, the less the offense can surprise the defense, and the less possessions per game. So it brings everyone's scoring totals down a little bit. So I'm going under with Jaylen Brown. I think Jason Tatum's got to be the guy.
All right, Jason Tatum's the pick there. All right, brass tacks time now, though. Kenny, I'm starting with you. Who do you have winning Game 5 and why?
Well, I like the Celtics. They're a slightly better basketball team, and the biggest advantage the Warriors had was that experience factor of being in 6 of the last 8 championships, and they've shown that grit and that experience and that will to win games when they've had to. The Celtics seem like they win a game, they let up the next game. When they lose, they come back and they play their best basketball. Coach hit it, and Coach hit 2 factors. One is get in the paint, quit throwing up so many threes. If you're not hitting the threes, like in the fourth quarter, get to the rim, get in the paint. I think they'll do that. The other thing, take care of the basketball. They do that. When they win, they get overconfident and they get a little sloppy. They know they can here. I think you'll see the Celtics play their best game in Game 5.
Kenny makes all relevant points about the reasoning and the rationale for wanting to pick the Celtics to win Game 5. It seems like, especially in the playoffs, throughout the playoffs, not just the finals, teams are just so inconsistent. Rarely can they just put together 2 or 3 really good games in a row, and especially just win back-to-back games. But even though I love my buddy Kenny, I'm going to go with the Warriors. And I picked the Warriors to win in 6. I think they've really figured out a couple of things with the Celtics, especially that the Celtics bigs are not going to commit to playing up the line on those pick and rolls against Steph Curry. And if they do, then that's when the Warriors are going to get their roll game on the pick and rolls. Bigs are going to continue to finish in the paint. They'll kick out on those backside threes and play 2-on-1 and 3-on-2. So I think the Warriors have really figured it out. They'll slow down. I don't think Jason Tatum can be the superstar type of player in this series the same way Steph Curry is playing at a superstar level. They're going back home. I thought the winner of Game 2 was going to win this series. So I'm sticking with the Warriors in 6, and because of that, I'm picking the Warriors to win Game 5.
All right, so you split there on Game 5. The Warriors favourites to win it all at -140. Kenny, though, you've backed the Celtics the entire time. Are you still sticking with them despite them being slight underdogs to lift the trophy at the end of it?
Yeah, Poppy, even Coach going against me here. I still have to stay with the Celtics, but I don't blame him. I know you've been, Coach. I know you've been on the Warriors from the beginning, and I really wanted the Warriors because of that experience factor. I just think the Celtics are a little deeper, and when it goes 7, or if it goes 6 or 7, these guys are playing so many minutes. I just think the Celtics are a little more talented team. So, yeah, I'm going to stay with the Celtics plus the 125 to win the series.
When Steph Curry has won championships in the past, he's played against, the LeBron James and the Kawhi Leonards. There's no LeBron James on the other side or Kawhi Leonard. He's had even tough series with Kevin Durant. and then Kevin Durant obviously joined them. Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown are outstanding young players. They're the future of the NBA. I just don't think they can rise to the level of where Steph Curry can go. I think he's still sitting on a 50-point game. And that may very well happen in game 5 or 6. So because of that, I'm sticking with the Warriors. They got the best player in the finals. He'll lift the rest of his team. Jordan Poole is going to continue to play at a high level. I think going back home, he's a much better player at home than he is on the road. And then they still have some other guys that can plug and play. And I don't know where Draymond Green's scoring is in this series. He's scoring 2 more points every game than I'm scoring. So I think he's due for 1 game at least in this series, and it may very well be game 5. But I'm picking the Warriors' experience. I think Steve Kerr will make 1 more adjustment to give the Warriors that edge. So I'm sticking with the Warriors.
Look, we're 4 games into a series that's on track to go at least 6, possibly 7. Both of you guys have sound reasoning. I like the arguments. You're coming at it from different angles. One of you is going to be completely wrong here. We know that going in. So who's going to be the finals MVP? Kenny, we start with you.
Well, I like the Celtics now, and when I said I like the Celtics for the series at plus 125, I don't think there's any reason to bet them on that for the series, because if they win, it's going to be Jason Tatum, and Tatum's going to win the MVP, and you can get him at plus $1.60 right now. So don't bet the Celtics to win it all. Bet Jason Tatum at plus 160. If he has 3 monster games here down the stretch and the Celtics win, or if the Celtics do win, Tatum's going to be the MVP of this series. This kid's really doing it all. I've seen more effort out of him than ever. The rebounding, the assists, the scoring is there, the three-point shooting. He's going to get to the rim more. I know they're talking about that, and as coach said, they got to get into the paint. I think you're going to see him I think he's going to have the monster game and the breakout game in game 5.
Steph Curry is going to cement his career as one of the top 10 players of all time in the NBA. He's watched Kevin Durant win the MVP twice. He's watched Andre Iguodala win the MVP. This is his year. This is his time to shine. He's the best player on the court. He's the only player I think that can be prolific at all 3 levels, all 4 levels. If this was the big 3, he can make a 4-point shot. He's got that type of a range. Then the basic 3, the mid-range game, taking the ball to the basket. His floor, he's a floor general. He's a maestro. He's a scoring machine. Nothing has shown me in this series why Steph Curry will not be the MVP in this year's NBA Finals. You look at the way he launched his team, even to start with those 12 points in the first quarter in a hostile environment in Boston. This is his season. He's going to be the reason why the Warriors win this year's NBA Finals. Steph Curry, Finals MVP in 2022.
That's the picks from Avery Johnson and the Wizard of Odds, Kenny White. They are at odds over who's going to win in Game 5. Kenny says it's the Celtics. Avery says it's the Warriors. Kenny's picking the C's to take the series. Avery not only has the Warriors winning Game 5, he says they're going to win in 6. And again, their Finals MVP picks also at odds. Jason Tatum, says Kenny White, and Steph Curry to get his first to go along with his 3rd title for Steph Curry.
Well, welcome into Celtics post-game live, presented by your New England Ford dealers and Ford trucks. Perk, Scal, Eddie House, Amina Smith here with you. And the Celtics lose Game 4 of the NBA Finals against the Warriors, 107-97, and the largest lead in this game, just 9 points. And it comes by the Warriors, who really made that up in the 4th quarter. The Celtics felt like they were in control in the middle of that 4th quarter. They had some shots going. They had the momentum on their side. But Perk, what happened at the end of this game?
You know what? I can't wrap my finger around why the Celtics can't consistently play great basketball. They have the recipe. You know, they have everything that they need and know what they need to win the basketball game. But still, at one stretch, each possession down, they shot 6 straight three-point shots instead of attacking the basket. Those careless turnovers, yeah, they might have not, transitioned into points, but they were wasted possessions. And that's a problem. Like, you have a golden opportunity right in front of your face, and you just let it walk away. Actually, they didn't let it walk away. Steph came and took it.
Man. I don't know what to say about this because we knew Steph was going to shoot it. It didn't matter. He was getting to anywhere he needed to get to. He got the matchups that he liked. He attacked the matchups. So, like, aren't we supposed to be doing the same thing? And we have two guys. So if you don't like your matchup with this guy, just go to the other guy. But it felt like we were just spaced out, moving the ball around, jack up a three. I don't think that's going to get it done.
No, it won't get it done. But do you think that that's where everybody starts talking about the youth of this team? Even though they've been here, they've been tested, battle tested, but they still are young, you know, young men, you know, 24, 25. So is that where that comes in at? Because, Perk, remember we were talking about, you was like, but we had team full of vets, OG vets. These guys coming in, they got Al Horford. But our stars, the guys who have the ball in their hands, they are the ones. So as opposed to when the time is I'm getting downhill and I'm going to make a play for myself or my teammate, I'll just jack this three, even when I got a great matchup.
Yeah, but
So
I think we can't dive into like the inexperience and the youth too much because I think you grow throughout the playoffs. And like, you know, being down 3-2 against the defending champions, going on the road, getting to game 6 and then winning the game 7, losing the game 6 at home in the Eastern Conference Finals, winning the game 7, that's going through growing pains and experience in itself. At the end of the day, you're 4 games into the finals, right? You see that it's nothing but basketball. We all know this. We could talk about experience, we could talk about X's and O's, but common sense tells us that Steph Curry is the greatest shooter ever to walk the planet. And for him to come in and basically single-handedly beat you, that is a problem.
Yeah. The Warriors, they went on a 17-3 run in the fourth quarter, the last 5 minutes of that fourth quarter, and Perk brought up Steph Curry. Scal, how did Steph Curry really just dominate that fourth quarter and snatch this game from the Celtics?
I don't know.
I mean, we were trying to figure it out. We were sitting in the press row trying to figure it out.
We all been a part of, I mean, like, really, we should be asking you, like, that looks impossible.
It's unreal.
It do. And for real, I'm in awe. Like, how he come up, he don't have a lot of space.
And this is the guy who think he's the greatest shooter in the world.
No, for real. While you playing, you know what I'm saying? But really, though, like, he doesn't have a lot of space.
It's crazy.
He got guys draped all over him, on the side, behind him, closing out in the front. And every time, it don't hit nothing, though. Like, when it go in, it be...
Yeah, but it wasn't just the shot making. It was him driving in the teeth and finishing around the basket. It was him roaring at the crowd. It was him actually taking what Draymond Green usually give to that Warriors team and being the heart and soul. Like, he set the tone at 6'3".
But it happened with the shot making. Once that shot start going down, whop, 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 they in that drop. Now they coming a little closer. Now he getting right on by him. Easy. I mean, he scored a basket today on Al Horford, right? And I ain't trying to pick on Al at all because that ain't what it is, because I think he'll do that to anybody, right? It was so easy, but it was hard work. When I looked what he did, you know, his move in and out, pop, 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 but then left Al and then got to easy Miami. It was so easy how he did it. But he makes it effortless. You know what I'm saying? Like, it looks like he ain't even trying out there. That's the
real
cold
question
part about
is,
it.
why are we not responding? That's what I want to know. Like, why are we 4 games into the final, went to game 6 in Milwaukee, got it done, went to game 7 in Miami, got it done? Why are we not responding?
They like difficulty. That's the answer to the question. They like difficulty. That's the story of the season. Come on, that's just what it is.
They do like that, but what I was saying, it goes back to, I think, you were hitting on, everybody was talking about their youth. Like, I'm thinking, like, I'm not making no excuses by any means. But when it start getting good and you get that win, you start getting that lead and everything is flowing, you get a little comfortable. Like, OG vets ain't comfortable. You know, when you get the chance to cut somebody's head off, you cut that head off.
But I can't agree with you on that, E-House. Here's why. Game 1, fourth quarter, when it mattered the most, they came down from being double figures, won by double figures, held the team to 16 points. Game 3, when it mattered the most, they buckled down and held this same team, the Golden State Warriors, to 11 points.
After going down both times. They were down both times.
So the growing pains already they know. Like, you know now.
But it seems like it's been the rhythm of this team, and it's been the way that they've been. It's game to game to game to game. You get a great game. You get a cutthroat game.
That's just a personality, though. That's just a personality of this team. That's not just in this series. That's not just in the playoffs. All season long. Scal, we talked about Perk. You've been there all season long. That's the roller coaster.
They were good until the last 5 minutes.
They
lost it.
No, you know what?
The roller coaster.
It's not the roller coaster. It's Steph Curry. It's not the roller coaster.
They lost all their swag.
Steph Curry imposed his will, and he won that game for his team out there. That's what you do when you're great, and
but
that's
why
what Steph
do we
Curry
downshift?
did.
Okay. I hear you.
For shots,
you have Jordan Poole out there at times defensively with Steph Curry. Klay Thompson's not anywhere near what he used to be defensively. Why are we not taking? Okay, I'm all right with Steph Curry going for 17, 40. I don't care. I'm saying, why are we not matching it? I don't get that.
I mean, that's the big question.
No, I just don't understand. We should be able to match bucket for bucket as a team.
We should, but Steph has been showing us all series long that, one, he's the best player in this series, and two, that is levels to this.
Well, let's take a look at Steph Curry and his highlights from tonight's matchup. It's presented by Shaw's, perfecting the art of fresh. 40 points out of Steph Curry in this matchup, and we all talked about him getting his way out there on the court, but Eddie at 43, but Eddie as a shooter, I mean, just how is he getting this done? I mean, it really speaks to his greatness and also his veteranship, the championship DNA that he has.
Well, he can shoot from anywhere. That's where the threat comes. Like, you have to guard him as soon as he crosses half court, right? So he's a threat. So now you got somebody guarding up on you. You get that. All he needs is a little bit of daylight. And when he gets to daylight, he letting it go. And then guys start coming a little closer, and he's able to get to the basket, and he can finish. Steph Curry, besides being the best shooter to ever play the game, he is low-key one of the best. That's under.
It's not low-key.
No, that's under. But that's under 6'5". You understand what I'm saying?
No, it's not low-key. It's high-key.
That play under the rim.
He is one of the most skilled players to ever play the game of basketball, and I think he knows how important this moment is for him. Like Steph Curry, the way he's playing right now, not only do he want a championship, he wants a Finals MVP, and he's playing like it right now.
He's playing like he wants to be what Perk said he is, Mount Rushmore. He wants to be this generation's greatest player.
He can't be stopped.
He can't be stopped. And you know what's crazy? I was actually looking on Twitter, and I saw that a fan had said that, hey, Steph, you're going to have to score 58 tonight if you guys want to win this game. You know what he said? I'm trying. I'm trying to score 58. That's the mentality that Steph Curry has coming onto the court and trying to win this game. They don't want to be down 3-1 going back to San Francisco, and he showed you that in this matchup. Well, the Celtics, we talked about those threes, Perk, and how they chucked up those 5 threes at the end of the fourth quarter. Just what was happening there? Why didn't they just drive to the basket? Maybe a simpler play.
I don't know, and I don't understand it. It was like my turn basketball, and it wasn't a lot of cutting. It was a lot of just dribbling the air out the ball, one pass shot, and it was like, okay, at what point do you see we don't have it going as a team? What point do you see, like, you know what, we've been having success actually getting all the way to the rack. And I know sometimes you have to make the right play, and some of those threes you have to take, but some of those wasn't. And I remember a particular one, Jaylen Brown shot, and it was so mentally draining. I saw the body language of Ime Udoka, and guess what ended up happening? He missed the shot, came back on the other end, and Steph hit a 3. Changed the game.
That was on the right wing. Yeah. I know exactly the play you're talking about. I seen that same thing, and I'm thinking to myself, just attack. You've been attacking all night. They've been aggressive, and the Warriors didn't have an answer for them when they were attacking, because either they were scoring or they were making plays. Derek White hitting threes off a pass, Horford hitting threes off of something, Tatum hitting 3. Everybody was getting money, but when you sit there and just jack up a 3 and settle on a team that's not a great one-on-one defensive team, it's mind-boggling.
I gotta be honest, I don't know why they downshifted. I don't understand it either. Why? Is it because Steph had the swag? Because he was pounding his chest? And all of a sudden you're like, oh man, I don't want to get involved in this? Those two guys are supposed to be like All right, you want to play like that? I'm going to another level.
Yeah, you got to raise the intensity level, especially in Game 4 of the NBA Finals. All right, let's send it out to Abby Chin, who's the head coach Ime Udoka right now.